have to excuse me, I have something that's a little vintage. A watch. How do you sum up a man's life in such a short period of time? In 5 minutes. I'm so grateful for all of you for being here on a beautiful day. Beautiful Saturday. Sun is shining. I wish we had gotten together on better terms. But when I asked David, I'm like, is there anything you request in your final service, in your funeral? And he told me, surprise me. My name is Dr. Triviño. Now, before you get too excited, I'm a PhD doctor, so I can really talk to you until the ambulance gets there. Dr. Cornell West, he says about philosophy is what we do, which people don't understand, is you learn to use your mind to think. So we think for a living. And what is the hardest question in life that some of us don't want to think about, but that philosophers can try to get our rhythm look at? And that's life. This question of life. As Carl Sandburg, Dr. Betty Siegel used to say, Carl Sandburg had this remembrance drum. Wherever you go, you get up on top and you say, who am I? Where did I come from? What is the purpose and how do I fit? Life. This question of life. Time. You know, Einstein said time is relative. It depends. And David, he was someone that I was so close. We shared such a bond. I have never been as close to anybody as David. We're so close, he was born on my birthday. I was the oldest, the king, the Lion King, and he came 3 years later when I was 3 years old. And David, someone told me, and I saw a little card there, and it described the message, when he walked into a room, he lit up the room. You know, as you get older and time passes, you realize that there's some people in this world that have a spark, have that certain thing you can't really put on. And that was my brother. He had a spark. And my brother, and Dr. Siegel, my instructor from Kennesaw State, when she first met my brother, she pointed out something, and she was a psychologist, that I always kept in mind, is that when you call someone your brother and not their name, it means you have a closer bond. So my brother and I were so close, but he was always in such a hurry. When he first came, I really was not glad that he came, because I was the king, and all of a sudden he took my spotlight off. And I was so mad, my mother says, that I went in and bit his finger. And she walked in, and my brother was, bleeding. She said, what the heck's going on? And I was angry. I'm like, what are you doing here? Until the end, he had a little scar that he would show people and show his finger. I was, the mama's boy. I was, of course, the firstborn. I wanted all the attention. But David, he was a crackerjack. He, at 6 months, was walking. At 10 months, he was already talking. Me, I was still, my mother thought something was wrong with me. I was like, no, I'm going to stop the baby in him. David, I think the best word, I've been thinking of something that captures him, a lesson we can take from his life, is love. What is love? What is love? We many times, Valentine's Day, we think about romantic love, we think about hearts, and we think about kisses, and we think about all these things that we think of love. But love is deeper. Love is really putting someone else ahead of you. Because all of us are at the center of our story. All of us are the hero of our story. And when you're able to get beyond that and think about someone else, that is love. And my brother embodied love. He just embodied love. He was a young man in a hurry, but he loved life. He loved to have a good time. And my brother and I would gallivant around town for all this craziness. And I remember one time we walked into a room and I overheard these people there. Like, who are those guys? And this other lady said, oh, they're the Greek brothers. They're in technology. The Trivino ones. And of course, it was Trivino. So we would go and joke and say, hey, we're Greek brothers in technology. But he enjoyed life. He would go out, celebrate whatever we did, the plays, shows, whatever we love the arts. And I see so many people here from the art community that we would get home late, we would sleep a few hours, and my dad had a shop, transmission shop. He would get up, he would rebuild these transmissions, he would go home, change clothes, and go to court and do his legal aspect. My brother had a confidence like no one else that I met, but a humbleness. And today all the brothers are wearing, he's the black sheep family. He went to law school on North Avenue, Georgia Tech. My brother was so sure that he was going to get into Georgia Tech, he only applied to one school. One school, no backup. No, he knew he was going to get into Tech. He got his undergraduate there. He got his master's there. I talked to one of his professors, Dr. Allen, 91 years old, and told me to report to you that he was the best student out of 91 years of his life that he had. Because David was not only a man in a hurry, but he was a man that was reflective and a man of ideas. This week, he read 3 books. Later in life, he decided, after I got my terminal degree, that he liked helping people out. And what's the best way to do that? Through the law. And he went back and went down to Mercer. Picked up, just one day I go to law school. That was it, no discussion. Picked up, moved down to Bear Country, down to Macon, and knocked it out. He always had this caring for other people. We share an office space. I'm not an attorney. Don't understand attorneys. Didn't understand my brother, why he wanted me an attorney. And I told him one day, don't get tired every day. People come in and it's problems. Divorce, murder, tickets, everything you can imagine. And I went, doesn't it bother you when people have problems? Doesn't it get out of you? And he says, no, because they're not my problems. My job is to help them solve them. The only thing he can't solve is death. But he can solve problems. And he was a solution guy. He had a mind that was incredible. He could fix anything. Give him a piece of gum with a little wire brush, and he could solve and he could help. David also saw the beauty in the world. He loved life. He loved the beauty in the world. Bill Clinton tells a story that the one lesson, I think, was the most important lesson that he's ever learned in life. And he said when he was in 8th grade, he was taking a chemistry class. This old curmudgeon guy doesn't even remember what he learned in that chemistry class. But the guy is just saying that you will remember me when you get old, you will remember when we talk today. But he says that you need to do this every day you get up. You look in the mirror and you say, I am beautiful, I am loved, and I am special. And he saw the beauty in that. I look across the room and he just knew so many people from a cross-reference of life. The last thing in love, which I think is the most important, is faith. When he was born in the city of Orange, in beautiful sunny California. There, the Christian Cathedral, which now is a Catholic church, across the street there's a hospital. And my mother remembers vividly when she had David, look out the window, and there at the Christian Cathedral, they had this tower, and it was called the Tower of Hope. Of hope. So he just carried that hopefulness, that faith. We've been fortunate. We've had faith throughout our entire life. This church is more than just a church to me. It's home. I have so many memories of us here. My brother David was everything you can imagine, altar server. There used to be a Father Schmoll, who was very, very tall. And my brother was a very short guy. And he was so short that he would hold the book and lay it on his head. And then the Father would turn the pages. But all those sacraments that we had here in this beautiful, beautiful church. Our faith will help us get through this, because it takes up a lot of responsibility, and that there are things that we just cannot understand. He's going to take care of it. David is now out celebrating, fixing problems, looking at people, trying to figure out how this and that works. Our faith teaches just basic tenets: love our neighbor like ourselves, forgive people, and love. Just love. There was Woody Allen movie that there was a line that I love that says, you gotta live life like today or your last, because one day it will be. David, he went quick. He passed away Thursday morning. Here we are celebrating this transition. Now my assignment to you is, if today were your last day, what would you do different? Who would you forgive? Who would you reach out